Welcome back to the Heal and Restore podcast with your host, of course, me. That's never going to change.
No.
Unless you decide one day to just take this whole thing off without me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You got the hiccups there, sir?
I got the hiccup, so you're going to have to excuse it. They came back this morning. We're trying to figure out why I keep getting them. So I'm going to do my best to get through this. If you hear me pause for a minute, I'm usually trying to catch a breath so I don't do the hiccup like that. So I appreciate you tolerating it. No, I don't drink. Yeah, so I haven't drank for 20 years. So
yeah,
I appreciate you tolerating this on the podcast today. We don't know when they're going to stop, so we're just going to go ahead and go through
if you need me to take over, just give me a thumbs up.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
If that gets too much, I'll just run with it. I don't know what I'll say or do, but I'll just run with it.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I've taught you well.
Yeah.
I watch you coach people, and it's like, man, I taught her well.
Yeah,
so
no, I think I can handle it.
So remember this: our heart is to help individuals and couples grow stronger through healing, honest conversations, and meaningful connection. Each week we talk about real-life topics like communication, forgiveness, intimacy, family, and emotional health, because healthy relationships begin with
healed hearts
and healed hiccups.
We hope you healed those hiccups.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in as we take another step together toward restoring what matters most.
So I just want to intercept here for a minute.
Okay.
We talk a lot about relationships in marriages, but I want to remind our listeners that these things that we talk about can be applied in all relationships. Yeah. It can be in-love relationships. It could be your spouse, your significant other. You could be your children. It could be your coworkers, your bosses, your
children
from your church, your children, anybody. So anytime we're talking about these areas of healing, they can be applied in a lot of places.
Right.
A lot of places.
100% of places, right? Yeah. So today's episode is one that is very close to our hearts. Mm-hmm. The title is "You Are Not Broken, You Are Healing."
I love that. You are healing.
You're healing, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to start by saying this clearly. Just because your life has been painful does not mean you are broken.
Right.
Just because you have been through trauma, abuse, betrayal, abandonment, addiction, grief, or emotional pain does not mean there is something wrong with you.
Yeah, I've always thought that we were healing. I've always felt that way, and this is just really a good reminder that, that's exactly what we're doing. We're healing.
Your past doesn't define you, right?
Yeah.
It means something happened to you. Right? It's painful. Mm-hmm. It means your heart has carried a heavy weight. Right? It means your nervous system learned how to survive rather than thrive. It means your soul has been trying to make sense of what it was never meant to carry alone.
Yeah, it's good.
But you're not broken.
No, right? Not at all.
You are healing the many shattered pieces of your life. For most, though certainly not all, survivors of unresolved childhood trauma, life often feels as though it has been shattered into countless pieces. And that was certainly me for 38 years. Mm-hmm. Early in life, they may lose their sense of safety, trust, self-worth, identity, faith, belief in God, and the understanding of how the world works. To that extent, they often feel broken because something deep within them has been profoundly wounded.
That's really good. Yeah.
That's the difference between being broken, that last sentence, and being shattered.
Yeah, that's really good. So.
And by the way, that's in my new book that I'm writing right now.
Okay.
Understanding the long-term effects of childhood abuse.
Okay. Well, good. We'll be able to push that when that comes out.
When it comes out, I'm still writing it. So now.
So, this is really an important message because there's so many people that walk through life, you were one of them, where they believe that they're just damaged goods. They believe they're too much, too hard to love, or too emotional, too sensitive, too wounded, too far gone, too, and then they believe that.
And nobody's too far gone. Never.
No. But sometimes those messages, when you start hearing them, they start early in life. You start hearing them early in your life. And it could be that someone told you that you were the problem. Maybe your emotions were just being dismissed. Maybe your pain was ignored. That happens quite often. And maybe you were blamed for things that were never your fault.
Yeah.
That is something that we commonly see as well. But what we have to remember is that over time, those messages, they can become part of how you begin to see yourself. And then you go through life believing them.
You believe in them,
Yeah.
yes.
So today, in this episode, we really want to gently challenge you to that belief. We want to help you see the difference between broken and being wounded. Because those are two very different things. They are not the same at all.
Not the same at all.
So remember this, a wound can heal and a heart can heal. A marriage can heal, a family system can heal, and a person, an individual self can heal.
And we've been witness to all of that.
Right. Now the thing with healing, it will take time, it will take courage, it requires rigorous honesty, which we talk about quite often.
And that rigorous honesty starts where?
With yourself, absolutely.
About yourself.
About yourself, with yourself,
Right.
about yourself.
Right.
And it's going to require your faith and a support system.
Yes,
Healing
very much so.
is possible. You just got to be willing to step out and then take the courage to be honest, take the courage to believe in your faith, take the courage to get the right people to support you so that you can heal.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, many people do not wake up one day and suddenly decide, hey, guess what, Cathy? I'm broken, right?
Yeah.
the belief usually forms slowly,
Yeah.
over time, and very slowly. It may begin in childhood in a home where love was inconsistent, emotions were unsafe, or a child's needs were ignored.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? When a child is abused, neglected, abandoned, criticized, shamed, or emotionally shut down, that child often does not have the ability to say, this environment is unhealthy. Instead,
No.
the child usually says, something must be wrong with me.
Yeah. What kid is going to realize that they're in an unhealthy environment?
Yeah, they just think it's natural. This is
Yeah.
just part of growing up.
Yeah. Then they start taking the blame and bringing it
Right.
on themselves. Yeah. That's
And then that's where all the shame begins, right? Shame says, I'm bad. Shame says, I'm not enough. Shame also says, I'm unlovable. And shame says, if people really knew me, they would leave.
something you could relate to, huh?
Well, yeah, I took a big risk when I told you the first person in my life that I was abused was. Sits inside a person long enough, it starts to feel like identity.
Mm-hmm. You relate to it. It's
You
connected
relate
to
to it.
you. It's
Yep.
attached to you. It becomes who you are.
And the shame always belongs to the perpetrators, not to you.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And children especially, they will especially often blame themselves because they're dependent on the adults around them or whoever it is that their caretaker is. They'll start taking on that responsibility and that blame because they depend on somebody that's older than them, more mature than them.
Yeah.
And a child really, all they're really wanting and dying for is the love and the safety, the food, the comfort, protection,
Yep.
all the things, and a connection with those adults. So when the adults in their life are unsafe, emotionally unavailable, maybe they're abusive, maybe they have addiction issues, they're angry, they're neglectful, that child usually cannot understand that the child is the one, that the adult is the one that's failing the child.
Right.
Because they don't get that. Instead, this child, this is really sad, but they're going to start internalizing things. And the things that they start internalizing, they're going to begin believing these things. And this is just really hard. It's maybe I'm too needy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just too emotional, or I'm not lovable, like you mentioned earlier. If I were better, they would love me differently. If I just did better, they'll love me differently. If I stayed quiet, I'll be safe. That's one thing a lot of children learn. They learn to be quiet so that they can be safe.
That's why they lose their voices as adults.
Yeah. And they might even think that if I performed well, if I achieved, if I pleased or behaved perfectly, I would finally be accepted. Somebody will love me. Somebody will accept me.
Those are hard.
And those survival beliefs, they may help a child get through the pain. And we talk about this a lot, that later in adulthood, those same beliefs, they become emotional prisons.
Yes.
And adults get stuck in those prisons because they believed them for so many years.
It's it's so ingrained in the fiber of their being that they don't know how to get out of it, right? And that is why we say you're not broken. Many of the behaviors that people judge themselves for today are actually survival skills they learned in painful environments. Like the people pleasing, the anger, the withdrawing, the fear of rejection is a big one.
Yeah.
The need to control is another big one. Right? The emotional shutdown, the addiction, the defensiveness, the perfectionism, the difficulty trusting, and the fear of intimacy. And intimacy starts when we have a healthy emotional connection in marriage with our partner, as children with our parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, excuse me, that was a good one. I didn't know it was coming. Those things did not come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They were often learned responses to pain. That does not mean we excuse harmful behavior. Healing will require responsibility, but responsibility without shame is very different from responsibility covered in condemnation.
That's really good.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to take responsibility and then have somebody start condemning you for taking that responsibility.
Yeah, that's good. And I love that distinction that we're talking about that is between the broken and the shattered. You know, when we say something is broken, we often think that it's lost its value or its usefulness. We think it's a defective mechanism or it's beyond repair.
And that's where the shattered piece comes in.
Yeah. But then when something is shattered, it means it's been impacted by something that's really forceful. When I hear the word shattered, the first thing that comes to mind is a piece of glass breaking, Something hit it, somebody dropped it, it overwhelmed it, something caused it to come apart. So it's a cause by an action is how I look at shattered.
That's a good definition right there.
And then many people, sometimes we're just listening today and we may feel that parts of our lives were shattered. Maybe just parts of our life were shattered. Childhood could have been shattered. The innocence was shattered. The trust was shattered. The sense of safety was shattered. And the voice was shattered. Identity was shattered.
And the identity, I think that's the ultimate when it all this comes down to it. Your identity was shattered.
Yeah. But again, shattered doesn't mean that you're worthless. It doesn't mean that you're hopeless.
No.
It does not mean that God is not finished with you either. And that's something that's really important.
Instead of asking why this is happening, God, we must ask Him, what am I to learn through all this?
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is so powerful because Scripture reminds us that God is near to the brokenhearted.
Thank goodness.
Psalm 34:18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. Now, real quick, I've got to say there's a lot of people that are struggling with God because of the trauma in their life.
Yeah.
I was one of them. But God lets no wound go to waste.
No.
He's going to use that wound for powerful healing in yourself and for others. Okay?
Right.
So God does not move away from wounded people. He moves toward them. Right? And I think sometimes people believe God is disappointed in them because they are still healing. They think, I should be over this by now. But healing does not work.
No.
It's a lifetime.
It's a normal thought.
It's a normal
that
thought.
That I should be over. I should be better than this. I should have. I should be done with all this work. No, it's a lifelong process.
Well, we've heard some of our clients say that.
Well, we've said it.
We've said it too. Right?
We've been there. Like, how many times do we have to do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For many times as we need to. Right.
Yep.
So you cannot shame yourself into wholeness.
No, not at all. Don't work.
You cannot hate yourself into healing, and you cannot condemn yourself into freedom. Right? Healing requires truth, grace, safety, and love.
Yeah. And sometimes that healing looks slow. And when we talk about that, it's a process. And sometimes it looks like taking one brave step at a time. He's in front of you. Sorry, our little dog is scratching at the carpet here. It's a distraction. Sometimes it looks like we're finally willing to tell the truth about ourselves and what happened. And sometimes it looks like just setting a boundary. Sometimes it might feel like we need to go to counseling or coaching, which is what we're here for too, is at Heal and Restore Counseling.
Yep.
And the other things it might look like is that, you learn to feel again after years of not having much feeling because
Right.
you've been numbing yourself.
You've been numbing for yourself.
Yeah.
You're afraid to, people often would call me and say, Randy, what do I do with these feelings? I go, you just sit with them.
Yeah. Sometimes we just have to sit with
You
them.
have to sit. They're not going to kill you, but you've numbed yourself for so long not to allow yourself to feel, and now they're coming up and they're very uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And sometimes, healing, it might look like crying over something that you thought you had already dealt with.
Yeah.
And I think you had an experience where you were afraid to cry because you were afraid you wouldn't stop crying.
Right.
And it doesn't mean you're going backwards.
No.
Definitely doesn't mean you're going
In fact,
backwards.
it means you're going forward.
Yeah, it just means that there's another layer coming up. There's another layer that we need to look at. There's another layer of healing that we get to journey into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the things we say often is that reactions tell a story. Right?
The reactions tell the story. That is so true.
When someone has a big emotional reaction, shuts down, becomes defensive, gets triggered, or feels overwhelmed, there's usually a story underneath that reaction.
That root.
That root.
That's what I think
There's a
I read
root
there.
to
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Many people only look at the behavior. They say, why am I like this? But a better question might be, what happened? What happened that taught me to respond this way?
Wow.
That's powerful.
That is good.
Because there's a root to it.
Yeah.
For example, exactor knife, right?
That's an X-Acto knife.
Exactor knife. Okay, well, I'm somewhere in between. So,
Yeah.
for example, if conflict feels terrifying, maybe conflict in your childhood was dangerous. Yes, it was. Highly dangerous for you.
Yeah.
If criticism crushes you, maybe you grew up feeling like you could never do enough. Again, I could never do the right thing.
Yeah,
no
you never
matter
feel like
what
you can do it right. Yeah.
Never could.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, real quick, I'm going to tell a story. I got to tell a story.
Okay.
My mother and my stepfather went to Hawaii for a week. And when they were gone, I wanted to go to Mammoth skiing. And I asked my stepfather if I could borrow his truck.
I've heard this story.
Yep. And he says, yeah, sure you can. So I got back from Mammoth, and I completely detailed his truck out. And also what I did is I went in the house, except for the upstairs windows, I washed all the windows in the house. All of them. So when they come home, they walk in the house. First of all, he doesn't say one thank you about washing and cleaning out his truck, right? Which we do with our kids all the time when they help us. But worse than that, he went in and we had a corner window in our kitchen. Probably 30 inches tall, 3 feet tall, and 4 feet, 5 feet going each way. And all he did, he found a tiny spot in the window. One tiny spot. He says, you missed a spot. That's a story of my life.
That's the criticism. Yeah, that's the criticism that you can never do it
just
enough.
like that.
Yeah.
It can never be good enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a few other examples that you can share too. Yeah.
If you shut down emotionally, maybe you learn that your feelings are not safe. Oh,
Yeah.
I got a lot of stories about that from my own life. If you struggle to trust, maybe trust was betrayed early. And remember, trust is earned, not just given.
Yeah.
So don't ever let anybody tell you you just owe me trust. No, we don't. Right?
No.
If you constantly try to keep everyone happy, maybe love felt conditional. Wow. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such an important shift. Instead of asking what's wrong with me, we can begin asking what happened to me and what did I learn from it? Because that's so true. I know, and the things that we discover through our own journey and what we do with our clients is that we never look inwardly. A lot of times we're looking outwardly, and this requires us to look inwardly in self-reflection.
Yeah.
So the question really opens up the door for compassion towards yourself. And compassion, it doesn't just mean you're avoiding the responsibility. It means that you're going to stop attacking yourself.
Right.
Or we're going to stop attacking ourselves while we're trying to heal. Yes. And I think that's something that's important. And self-reflection is a huge component to your healing journey. And that is one thing that we really implement in a lot of our coaching too. Because when a person really does get triggered, they don't need more shame.
No. No.
They just need awareness. They need grounding. They need support. They need truth.
Yes.
So, that's something that we help our clients work through. We've had to work through it too.
Yes, absolutely.
And, we have to be able to say it just as simple as it is. This is just a trigger. It's an old wound that's touching me somewhere. I'm safe. I'm safe now. I'm okay now. I can slow down. I can respond instead of react. And that's what healing is.
You hear this, your trigger's not my responsibility. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're in a marriage, intimate relationship, it absolutely is your responsibility.
Got to know what they are.
Each of you got to know what, I have to know what my triggers are so that I can tell Cathy, so that we can work on them together.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not all Cathy, I got to work on it too,
Yeah.
right? So, and for couples, this is especially important. Many marriages do not struggle simply because two people do not love each other.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
They struggle because wounded people are trying because two wounded people are trying to love each other while protecting themselves from all pain.
Mm-hmm.
Cathy and I always said, your marriage isn't broken. Both of you are wounded and carrying that baggage into the marriage.
Yeah, there's a song and dance that goes with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One spouse pursues, the other withdraws. Mm-hmm. One raises their voice, the other shuts down.
Been there, done that.
That's it, right? Right. I'm the voice raiser, and you're the shut downer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One feels rejected, and the other feels controlled.
Yeah.
Right. One wants closeness, and the other feels overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Right. And both may be reacting from wounds that they do not fully understand.
Yeah.
Right. And that's part of that understanding. You got to learn and understand where's this trigger coming
Right.
from.
Exactly.
That is why we believe emotional safety is so important. Probably the most important thing in a healthy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Without emotional safeties, couples stay stuck in survival mode.
Mm-hmm. It's a cycle. It's like a merry-go-round. You just keep circling around and around and around.
I had my professor in psychology said, look at it like a clock. At 12 o'clock, everything's okay. 12:15, things start getting shaky. 12:30, it's World War III. 12:45, things begin to get normal again. 12 o'clock, everything's good. 12:15, the cycle continues.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So we got to be aware of that.
Yeah, and there is one misconception about healing, is that people think that once they're healed, they're never going to struggle again. But I'm here to tell you that healing does not mean you never get triggered.
Right.
It does not mean that you're never going to feel sadness, fear, you're never going to feel grief, you're never going to feel anger or insecurity. And one thing that I think that we have discovered is that some people, not all people, but many people carry so many triggers they don't even know what they are. Right. And so as they heal one area, a new trigger might be discovered.
Well, as my mentor said, more will be revealed.
Right. And we've experienced that as well.
I remember telling Garrett one day, my son, we were driving, I said, son, I wish I could just forget about all my trauma. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, we're not going to forget about it. Yeah. But what we can do as we heal is learn how to use it to our benefit, and therefore, once we are on a healing path, we can help somebody else.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what healing really means, and so that there isn't a misconception, because what it really means is that I begin, you begin to understand what's happening inside you. Yes. All the emotions, the body, the body tells the story, right? Yes. So we begin to understand what's really happening inside of us. Another thing that healing means is that we get to have tools to navigate our healing journey. Yes. When we recognize healing, it means that we can recover faster. Yes. We can't recover forever, but we will recover faster. Things will make more sense, and we'll be able to get through them quicker.
And on the recovery, we learn how to use the tools that are in our toolbox.
Right, exactly. We're going to have all these resources, and that helps us to move through it.
Exactly, right.
It also means that we can tell the truth without being swallowed by shame. Yeah. I can't tell you how many people have shared something with me that they've never shared with anybody else, and they feel so much lighter, and they don't carry the shame. The shame is stuck in the not sharing.
Yes, it is.
But once it's shared, once it's out, that shame begins to fall away as well.
I believe that I was part of a group, and I spoke openly, without shame, about my abuse to hundreds of people at conferences. And to this day, I truly believe I'm the only man that speaks in that matter to anybody, anywhere, at any time.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's important. And then the more I spoke about it, the more the power was taken away.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Right.
That's what's got us on this journey that
Right,
we're on now,
exactly,
for sure.
yeah.
And I think one of the things, this one was really powerful for me, is what healing did is when I was able to ask for help, instead of pretending everything was okay, everything was fine, I that is when my healing journey really started. I'll never forget this day. I was going to my CODA meeting, and you're told you've got to get a sponsor, a mentor, and there was one gal that I wanted to ask, but I remember when I went and asked her if she would sponsor me and mentor me, and all I remember doing was crying the whole time I was asking, because that was the first time in my life I asked for help.
Yep.
And I didn't have to carry this white picket fence around as if everything was okay.
Yep,
So,
you did that for many years.
I did that for a long
Unfortunately.
time, yeah.
I'm sorry for that. I was the cause of a lot of
No, you had your part in it, but
Yeah,
I also
but-
learned things
right.
growing up in my own childhood as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
So, that is right. Healing is not perfection. Healing is growth. We're never going to do life perfect.
No.
The only person that's perfect is Christ. That's it, man.
Yeah.
We can strive for it, right?
Yeah, and that's what we want to do.
There are things in my life that God has healed deeply, and there are still places where He is working. And, man, I think that is true for many of us.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how deeply true that is for me.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's like, I thought I worked through everything. Now where's this coming from?
Right.
We have to stop measuring healing by whether we still have pain. Pain's gonna come.
Yeah.
Sometimes the evidence of healing is not that pain is gone,
Right.
but the pain no longer controls every decision. If you walked in my shoes, you would say and do the things I do. That was my famous saying.
Yeah, I heard that a
Remember
few
Yeah.
times.
You drink like I did. If you walked in my shoes, you'd be drinking the same way I drink.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Healing may sound like I still feel afraid, but I'm not going to run. I'm not going to run.
Yeah.
I still feel shame, but I will tell myself the truth.
Yeah.
I still feel triggered, but I will pause before I react.
And that was something we talked about last week in our podcast as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I still have wounds, but I am learning how to care for them,
Yeah, we got to nurture them.
how to nurture them.
Yeah.
And I still have a past, but my past does not get to define my future.
Amen to that one. Yeah, those are beautiful. Those are things that we really need to reprogram our mind to respond to. So the other thing that I think is really important we need to remember is that healing, it's often a process of reclaiming what was taken.
Yeah.
Healing in general is a process, but it's specifically a process of reclaiming what was taken.
Exactly. That is God-given.
Yeah. And so the things that we want to learn in healing to reclaim is our voice.
That's very important.
We want to reclaim our identity, our ability to feel, because many people walk around and they don't feel. They just numb their feelings.
My saying was, I got no feelings. I'm a contractor.
Yeah. We also want to learn to reclaim our ability to trust wisely. We don't want to just trust everybody, but we want to trust wisely. We want to reclaim our relationship with God, and that was one thing that you were able to accomplish through your healing journey. And then we want to reclaim our ability to love and to be loved.
Yes.
That's so important. That's all anybody ever wants, is to be loved.
Yeah.
And to be loved. Yeah.
Right.
To love and to be loved.
And that's part of the God said, what's the most important commandment? And it's
Love yourself as you love your neighbor.
Love God with all your heart, right? And love your neighbors.
Yeah, that's good. And the enemy, we talk about this quite often, would love for you to believe that you're broken beyond repair.
Oh, yeah.
But we know that God
I
restores.
thought I was.
Yep, we know God redeems, God heals. He brings beauty from ashes, and that's a beautiful thing that
That's a very important part what Cathy just read, because if God's not at the center of your recovery, the center of your marriage, I'm not going to say they're all going to fail, but a strong chance that your marriage or relationship
will
struggle and possibly fail.
Yeah.
Same thing with recovery.
Yep.
Right? Well, if you don't have the real God, Father Yahweh, at the center of your recovery, addiction and alcoholism stuff, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle.
A hard journey.
Yeah, right? Definitely.
The good news is that healing is possible. Those shattered pieces can be gathered, understood, and restored. While the scars may remain, they no longer have to define a person's identity or future. In fact, many people discover that through their healing process, they develop a deeper sense of purpose, resilience, compassion, and faith than they ever thought possible.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's so good. I just hearing that, those are a lot of the things that you accomplish through your healing journey.
Absolutely. So what does healing actually look like? Healing may look like becoming honest about your story. Yeah. There's that reverse honesty again, right? Not to live in the past, but to understand how the past has shaped you. A lot of those things that's happened to us in the past, the way they shaped us, can still be used in a positive way, even in recovery.
Just need to be refined.
They have to be refined. Someone we're going to have to throw away. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Healing may look like forgiving yourself for the ways you tried to survive. Maybe you coped in unhealthy ways, and maybe you hurt people. Maybe you stayed silent. Maybe you numbed out. Maybe you made choices out of pain. And that pain sometimes isn't always obvious.
Yeah, it can be very subtle.
Well, I'm going to talk about the affair. The pain wasn't obvious. It was a subtle pain because I didn't believe I was good enough to be married to you, right? Yeah. And I just, right now, that came to me. Right? The pain was very subtle.
Yeah.
Right? Healing does not erase responsibility.
No.
But it helps us understand that many of those choices came from wounded places.
Yeah.
And we have to look at them. Even if it was by our parents.
Yeah.
And we don't want you to hate your parents. We want you to learn how to love your parents in a much deeper way.
Right. So, you've given us all the things what it might look like, but there's also some new patterns that we have to acquire. And we have to learn these new patterns. And we have to learn to communicate instead of explode. We have to learn to rest instead of constantly perform. That's hard for some people, but you got to learn to rest instead of constantly performing. We have to learn to be able to set healthy boundaries instead of people pleasing. Hello. Sometimes we have to learn to ask for comfort instead of withdrawing. If we need something, we need to be able to speak it, instead of just withdrawing and me do myself, because that's never worked.
We went through that this morning when I was leaving jiu-jitsu. You going to go start cardio before I get to the gym? No. Why? I'm on my way there. You might as well start. Well, do you need to do cardio? No, but she goes, Randy, what do you want? I go, well, to save time, I think you should go. Randy, what do you want me to do? Go ahead and start cardio because I just got through an hour of jiu-jitsu and I don't need to do cardio, so I'll just meet you at the gym.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was that she's very good about, and with her, it's vice versa.
Yeah.
Are you trying to ask me something?
Yeah. Get back to the point here.
Yes, exactly.
So another thing that we have, a new pattern that we have to learn is learning to be vulnerable instead of pretending.
Yes.
We can put on a good front, and if you've done it for many years, it's very hard to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Or if you've grown up in a home where everybody pretended around you and you didn't have an example of vulnerability, that will be difficult as well. But vulnerability is a new pattern we have to develop.
Yep.
And we need to learn to receive love instead of pushing it away. Invite it and bring it close to your heart is how I say it. And, for some people, healing means allowing safe people into the process. So we're not designed to heal completely alone. That's where I feel that we are beneficial to our clients and to you, the listeners, is that you don't have to do this journey alone. In fact, it's going to be very difficult to do alone.
Very difficult.
You really want to have somebody walking alongside you, sharing, listening, giving positive reinforcement, encouragement, good positive feedback, giving you some tools to work with. And that's what we do here with our clients.
And the one thing you do not want in that person is somebody that's going to condone what you've been doing. Right? Well, that's okay, Cathy. Randy has been so mean to you. You have a right to feel that way.
We have to be able to look at a lot of hard things, but we want somebody that's going to be honest with us too.
You know, I understand Randy was kind of hard on you and mean to you, but what was your part in it?
Right.
We all
What could you have
part.
done differently?
Right.
What, how did you show up? There's a
Right,
lot of those
exactly.
questions.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to say this. We all have a part in everything we do except being abused.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that, right?
Yeah.
That is so important. Pain often helps in relationship, but healing also happens in healthy relationships, right? Kathy knows when I'm feeling pain, and I know when she's feeling pain, right? And it's not always I'm painful right now. It's different kind
emotional
of
pain.
communication and words that are spoken.
Yeah,
right?
there's emotional pain.
All right, I'm real good about letting Kathy know about when I'm struggling, right?
Yeah.
A safe relationship can help rewrite what unsafe relationships damage. And a quick example was Roy. When I first saw him, he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Randy, you're loved and you're enough." And he did this for like 3 years. I go, "What are you talking about, old man?" What I didn't realize is he was rewiring my neural pathways because for my whole life, I thought I was unlovable, that I was never enough.
Right.
I'm not more than, I'm not less than, I'm enough, and I am very lovable, and people love me a lot. Right?
Yeah.
So when someone listens without shaming you, this is healing, right?
Good.
I understand that must have really hurt. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm here to talk to. I'm here to help. Whatever way I can.
Right. Yeah.
When someone stays present with your pain, that's healing, right? When they can sit with you and just listen, uninterrupted.
Yeah.
When someone respects your boundaries, that's healing. And when someone helps you tell the truth without condemning you, that is so vital.
That's
That
such
is healing.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's very important that you have somebody that fits into those four categories. Absolutely. And ultimately, the safest relationship we can have, this is a tough one for people, is with God.
Yeah.
He knows the whole story.
Yep.
He saw what happened, and he knows what it cost you. And he is not afraid of your pain. And God says, "I'll restore everything you lost in your life." And
Yeah.
he has restored a lot of my life, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And in this journey of healing, there is going to be some emotional roller coasters, some ups and downs. But one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself in that struggle, in that emotional struggle that sometimes we find ourselves in, and that's grace. And we've talked about this as well in some past podcasts, because grace says I'm still learning.
Right.
Grace says that I can grow without hating myself.
Yeah.
I can do this without hating myself.
Remember this, if we're hating ourselves, we can't really love anybody else.
No, not at all. Another thing that Grace will say is that my reaction is information, not condemnation.
Yeah, that's good.
My reaction is information,
Yes.
not condemnation. So if you're reacting to something, it's telling you something. It's not shaming you or condemning you. It's letting you know, hey, something's going on here.
And that's where we have to dig. What is it I'm supposed to learn?
Yeah. Grace also can say that I can take responsibility without drowning in my shame.
Right.
And Grace also says healing takes time, and I'm allowed to be in process.
Right.
Process doesn't have a beginning and an end.
Right.
Time doesn't have a beginning and an end. It will keep on going until we're confident in who we are becoming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It takes time.
Yeah.
Especially if you were one that beat yourself up all the time, like me. Right.
Yeah.
It took time.
Yeah. And some of you that are listening today, you might be very compassionate towards everyone else, but incredibly harsh towards yourself.
Yeah, that was me.
Sometimes we can be on the outside good for everybody, but not good for ourselves. So you've got to remember you would never speak to someone else the way that you speak to yourself internally. And remember that. You would never speak to somebody else the way you speak to yourself internally.
Imagine this. We used to say in the Roosevelt, imagine if there was a movie screen up on the wall with what we were thinking about other people, what we would say to them or what we say to ourselves.
Yeah.
That's kind of a tough visual.
Yeah.
And I want to say this gently, very gently. Many wounded people become their own abuser. Oh my God. And I will tell you this. I abused myself for far longer than my mother and stepfather did, and far worse emotionally than my mother and stepfather did.
Yeah.
And that's the simple fact and the truth of the matter. long after the abusive person is gone, their voice remains inside. So it's like they're living inside your head, rent free.
Yeah.
Kick them out.
Yeah.
Right?
But what are the things they're telling you? That's the other thing.
Their voice remains inside, and that voice could be this: you're not enough. You always mess up. Nobody really loves you. You know, who do you think you are? You're too much. You should be over this by now. Come on, man. Your dad died 12 years ago. Get over it, right? And they tell you, you're just a broken person. There's no hope for you.
Yeah.
Right? Healing means we begin challenging those lies with truth. The truth is, you are not what happened to you. You are not your worst mistake. You are not your trauma response. You are not your shame. And you are not broken beyond repair.
Wow.
Never, right? And you're not hopeless.
Yeah.
That's one thing I want you to understand. I thought I was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. You are someone God loves. You are someone with value. You are someone who can heal. And you are someone whose story is not over.
All of those just feel so heartwarming to hear. You know, when we hear those words, they feel good in the heart.
One of the reasons I dove off the deep end was because of the way I was told how God was so condemning, and I figured I'm going to hell no matter what because of everything that was fed to me. I'm just going to go out. I'm going to live my life and party it up.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think God loved me, but you know, I look at it this way: when I asked God to help me. And he said, okay, and the Bible says he'll never leave or forsake you. I look at it this way. God just got tired of coming behind me and sweeping up the mess.
Right.
So he gave me that little warning. You get out of jail free cards and stuff.
And
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So maybe today this is going to be your first step, and it's just really going to be about changing the words that you speak over yourself. Something as simple as just changing the way we speak to ourselves. So instead of saying I'm broken, try saying I'm healing. Maybe instead of saying I'm just too damaged, acknowledge I have wounds, but wounds can heal. You think about a cut on your arm; it heals. That's just a wound, and I'm not damaged. I'm just a wound healing.
Just wounded, yeah.
Maybe we have this thought in our head that says, "Oh, I'm never going to change." Well, instead of saying that, try saying, God's still working in me and through me. And instead of saying, I should be over this, that should word, those should, try saying, I am allowed to heal at the pace the healing requires of me.
Deborah, you should tell me, get rid of all the shoulds in your life. Put shouldn't on yourself.
Yeah, because words really matter. And the words we speak over ourselves, they can either deepen our shame or they can create safety within us.
So one of the things I'll often ask people, especially when they start talking, when they start hearing those voices from the past, right? And now they start thinking it, and it's become entangled in them, right? I go, who's telling you that stuff? Right? You go, well, the devil. I go, kind of. Where's the first time you ever heard that kind of talk about yourself?
Yeah.
Who told you you were worthless? Who told you you weren't enough?
Who told you you were damaged?
You were unlovely. Who told you? Right? Is it true? You're not worthless.
Yeah.
You're not unlovable. We're human beings.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what we've gone through. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
So I want to speak for a moment to the person who feels too far gone, because I've been there. Right?
Yep.
Maybe you've tried to heal before and got discouraged. Maybe you have prayed, gone to counseling, read books, tried to forgive, tried to move on, and still feel stuck. I did that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Does that not mean healing is possible? That does not mean healing is possible. It may even mean there are deeper layers that still need care.
Because healing is not impossible in this case at all.
No,
not at all. None of us.
It's like peeling an onion. Right? Sometimes we want quick healing because the pain has lasted so long.
Yeah.
The deep wounds usually need deep compassion, deep truth, and vitally safe support.
Yeah.
That's vital. Do not give up on yourself because the process is taking longer than you expect.
And that's something that's very familiar in the rooms. Everybody
I
wants to get over it and get through it quickly.
I can remember telling some of my accountability partners that were way ahead of me, God, I just want what you got. I want to get there. They go, it's going to come. You just keep doing the work. You do what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the road's going to quit going from high bumps to medium bumps to just finally a little hiccup.
Little bumps in the road,
hiccups,
yeah. Speaking of hiccups.
Right.
Yeah, but one thing we want to be reminded of is that we don't need to confuse slow healing with no healing. Okay? Think of it this way. A seed grows underground before anybody gets to see the fruit. The roots develop in the hidden places, in the dark spaces. And sometimes the deepest work of healing happens quietly beneath the surface.
That's a good point. We live in the desert, right? Think about when we get good rains, might be a year, but all of a sudden the desert comes alive. Because all these seeds have been deep, just underneath the soil, waiting for the right conditions.
Developing.
They've been planted, right? And then what happens is God comes along and he waters them, and then the fruit starts to come up.
Right. And so we got to remember we're not going to see all these changes at once either. That's the beauty of this, is things are happening below the surface. We don't even see it. But we've got to remember that every honest conversation we have, it's going to matter.
Yes.
Every boundary that you have to set, it's going to matter. Every time you choose not to shame yourself, that's going to matter. And every time you pause instead of react, that really matters. And the important thing is that every time you tell the truth, that matters. And the most important is every time you let God into another wounded place, that matters.
Yes.
And that is where your healing is. It's where your true healing comes from.
So, we have some reflection questions, as we always do. As we begin the wrap-up today, we want to give you a few reflection questions. There are questions you can journal through, pray through, or talk about with someone else. First, where did I first begin believing that I was broken? Right? Second, what survival patterns did I learn in childhood or in painful seasons of life?
These are really good, yeah.
Third, what is one area I need to stop shaming myself and start giving myself grace? Fourth, what would change if I began saying, I am not broken, I am healing?
Great journaling prompts.
So go back, I want to repeat them one more time so people can write them down. First, where did I first begin believing that I was broken? Second, what survival patterns did I learn in childhood or in painful seasons of life? Third, what is one area where I need to stop shaming myself and start giving myself grace? And fourth, what would change if I began saying, I am not broken, I am healing?
Yeah, I have another one.
What's that?
What is one safe step that I can take this week towards healing?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right?
So what is one safe step that I can take this week towards healing?
So those are 5 very good journaling prompts.
Yeah. And then it's not 10 steps. It's not everything at once. It's really just one step at a time.
Right.
And maybe your step this week might be just to start journaling.
Those prompts we gave them.
Yeah. Maybe it's having an honest conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe it's asking for help.
Yeah.
Maybe it's setting a boundary, praying honestly. Maybe you can speak kindly of yourself. Maybe it's allowing yourself to grieve. Because I just want to say this, though. Healing really, truly begins when we can take one honest step, one courageous step at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And the point of prayer, the subject of praying, if you're mad at God, like I was, tell him.
Yeah.
You're not going to burn in hell if you tell God, I'm mad at you, I'm pissed, I don't understand what happened in my life. He's got big shoulders. If you're thinking it, he knows it. So just tell him. It's okay, right? It's like if Cathy's mad at me, she's not going to hold on to it. She's going to let me know, right? God is the same way. He's not going to put you in hell because you tell him you're mad at him for what happened to you.
He already knows.
You already know.
Yeah.
So just get it out. And
be honest. Be honest. That's the honesty there.
As we close, we want to remember this. You're not broken. You may have been wounded. You may have been shattered by things that never should have happened. And you may have carried pain for years, but you are not beyond hope. Nobody is ever beyond hope. Excuse me, there's another hiccup. Where'd that come from? I'm thinking I'm hopeless with these hiccups.
Yeah.
But God is not finished with you. Your story is still being written.
Yeah.
Right, it's going to be written for the rest of your life. And how do you want that story to read? It's up to you.
Yeah.
Your heart can heal. Your mind can be renewed. Your relationships can grow. Your voice can return. And your life can be restored. And again, Cathy and I are witnesses to all that.
Yeah. No.
In our own life.
Yep. Yeah. Healing doesn't mean that pretending the past did not happen. No, not at all. Healing means that the past no longer has the final word. And I think we hear that over and over again. So you are allowed to heal.
Yes.
You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to rest. And you're allowed to become whole. And you don't have to do it alone. And we're going to end with this.
Before I do that, if you're allowed to heal, you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to feel, you're allowed to rest, you're allowed to become whole. If you don't believe that about yourself, Cathy and I, understand this. Believe that Cathy and I believe that in you. Take our belief and instill it in yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
So one thing we want to kind of close this out with is, remember this, people's lives may appear broken today, and that's okay. But the truth is they were first shattered by the experiences no child should have to ever endure. Healing begins when we stop asking, what is wrong with this person? And we start asking, what happened to this person?
Yes.
It's really important. So stop asking what's wrong with this person and start asking what happened to this person.
Right. So once again, we want to thank you for joining us today on the Heal and Restore podcast. If this episode has spoke to your heart, we encourage you to share it with someone who needs to hear this message. You're not broken.
Nope.
You're healing.
Amen to
I
that.
need to hear that over and over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And if your relationship, you're walking through a difficult season, you need support, we invite you to visit our website at healandrestorecounseling.com. We do offer a 1-hour, no-cost, EBZB freebie to you. It's a discovery session. And in that discovery session, it's where we want to hear from you. We want to hear what your struggles are, what your goals are. We'll share a little bit about ourselves and why we do what we do. And then we'll go over our program and let you know a little bit more about our program so you can make an informed decision on how you want your journey to begin. And so we are honored to walk with you as you take steps towards healing. Towards your restoration and your wholeness. It's so important that you do that with somebody like ourselves.
And we truly believe that no matter what you've been through, no matter what your marriage has been through, if you both have just an inkling of love for each other and you want the marriage to work out, just even if it's a little bit, it can work out.
Right. And I'll just add to it, we talk a lot about marriages, but we also work with individuals.
Yes,
and we have worked with men and women, some who have been married and divorced, some who have been in just difficult relationships, some who have had difficult childhoods that they see how they're affecting their relationships today. So it's not just married couples, it's not just relationships, it's all people that we want to help.
Yeah, people who, trauma is a part of everybody's story, and that's one thing we cover. Right?
Yeah.
So until next time, remember, healing is a journey, grace is part of the process.
Yeah.
And with God, restoration is always possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to say this. Thank you for tolerating me and my hiccups today. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
No, thank you, Mrs. Boyd.
It was a struggle for me, I'll be honest with you. I don't like seeing you in.
No, it's not fun. It is painful, but I thank you for tolerating it. Also remember that we don't have a professional studio. We don't have editors. We don't have all that.
What you see is what you get. The raw stuff.
Every once in a while, our dog comes in, wants to scratch on the floor and do all that kind of stuff. But thank you for tolerating that. But I'm going to say this. If there's anybody out there that has a heart for what we do and would like to help us develop this even further, make it better.
Maybe you're a college student that is, working in this area, in this field of editing, and I don't even know what you call it.
You need some intern time.
Yeah.
Right? please reach out to us. I mean,
Even a high school kid who wants something to do in the summertime.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the high school kids are very hip to tech work.
Oh, yeah. Way more than us.
Please reach out to us at healingrestorecounseling.com. All right. And we'll be glad to talk to you and see if there's some way we can work together with them. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. And remember to share, like, and follow us.
Yep.
Right. So, made it through.
You better stop talking
I
before.
better stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a
So-
date tonight.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pizza date, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go pizza tonight. So then we're gonna go fishing tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, remember this. Remember this. Nobody tells you they love you today. Randy does.
Cathy does.
More importantly, God does. Be blessed, everybody. Have a fabulous week.
Have a great week.